So we're changing out the air filter for the 2018 Forester. This is the non-turbo, and the air box is right over here. And what we're going to change it out with is what we have here. I just kind of opened it up. This is the box that you get. It's the Grimm Speed Dry-con air filter. It's supposed to have more airflow. It's reusable and washable. Very similar to the K&N, which is a little bit more popular, but Grimm Speed is more of a lot of subie owners are using a lot of these for WRX, 8.6s, BRZs, etc. Because they have the same engine format. Here we have the part number 060091A. And right over here is that SKU number for the car. And so what we're going to do is just kind of pop right in, take a look at what we have with the engine, take off the airbox, and then take out the old filter. We'll take a look at the comparison between this one and the kind of OEM one that's been kind of running for a few thousand miles, and we'll go ahead and show you how to replace it. So on the 2018 Forester, the non-turbo version, we have the intake manifold here. It's a flat 4, so boxer pistons going side to side. So over here is the intake box. You see the air tube here flowing right into, this is where the filter area that we're going to try to access. Then you have this large air dam that takes cold air from the front of the car, flows into the air filter, goes around here, jumps into the intake manifold. That's kind of how your engine works. And it's pretty much just these two clips and then the two little pins on the bottom, but it's really tight to access. You can barely push this out. And so what you need to do is just kind of do two things. You can either remove this top portion or you can remove this kind of a clamp that connects to the air tube itself. In order to do that, you can take a screwdriver. What I'm going to do is just take an 8mm 1/4-inch socket. I put a 6-inch extension there, and we're going to loosen it, and that loosens it there. Then all we do is just kind of pull the box out, and you can see it just kind of gives you a lot more room to take it out. At which point you can just take the air filter out. You can see it's a little dirty. It has a little of these kind of gray particles here. You can see a little getting dirty. On the other side, obviously this is not where the air comes through, so it's a little cleaner. This is the Subaru part number 16546AA12A, but we're going to replace this just because we're doing an upgrade. You can see in these fibers, you're starting to see, it looks like a bug, but you can see dust particles all over here. And so over time that restricts the airflow. I think this has been running for about maybe 12 to 15,000 miles. You can probably go for a little longer. Some people do 30, but for us, we're just gonna change it out, even though it's not that dirty, but dirty enough for us to replace. So this is a side-by-side comparison of the OEM Subaru air filter and the Grimm Speed one. So this is, as a comparison, they fit side by side, perfectly matching. So the Forester airbox part number, it's made by Denso, made in the USA, as it says, and this is the part number 16546AA12A, and then this is the Grimm Speed one. So the other side, just different colors, you can see there, and this is the part number, Grimm Speed Dry-con air filter 060091. The air will be flowing through here, and it'll come out the other side into your engine. And so that's just a quick comparison of what it looks like, so you guys can see. And we're gonna go ahead and start to install this unit now. So I'll show you what that looks like. So we're gonna get a little closer to the disassembled air filter. What I want to point out is your air flows in from the front of the engine into this tube, gets the front dirty over time, but it cleans out the air that's going into your engine. one thing to note is you can see here, it's just larger debris that just doesn't catch on to the air filter. And so when you remove it and replace it, you might want to just take a vacuum and clean this out here. I have a little hand vac, so I'm just going to vacuum it out. So once you have everything removed, cleaned out, you can go ahead and install the new filter. So again, we're going to install this Grimm Speed one with this kind of red part facing in and this facing out to catch the air. So installing it, I'm going to put the Grimm Speed label up top, and we're going to just slide it in. And because it's rubber, it's going to slide a little bit tighter than the stock OEM one that was made out of plastic. But the rubber one is nice because it creates this super tight seal between the filter and the air box. And so I'm pushing my hands at the bottom, pushing it in this way, and just making sure the seal is extra tight. So once that's in, I'm going to reinstall the clips. And so there's two little pins here. And you'll want to put the air tube back in place. Like that. See how that looks? And then you're going to slide the clamp back on and tight in place. The other thing you want to do is just make sure this is perfectly sealed. And so we put it back on the two clips on bottom so I can see that's going in. And you pretty much clamp, and then you grab your 8mm again. Make sure this seal is tight. And then you start tightening the 8mm bolt so that the clamps stays on securely. As I was saying, we just make sure the tube is perfectly sealed around. And we're starting to tighten the whole unit. And that's pretty much it. That's the install of the Grimm Speed Dry-con air filter. Simple install. It's pretty much just taking out the old box and dropping in the new box. So we've finished installing the Grimm Speed Dry-con air filter. I'm just taking it out for a test drive on some roads, and I'm just going to accelerate. And I really feel a little bit more flow. Like I could feel the throttle pedal just kind of picking up a lot better with this Grimm Speed compared to the OEM. Obviously the OEM had, you know, a few thousand miles on it. You can see it a little bit dirty, but I think it was a little bit more restrictive, so I could really feel a little bit more torque and power coming from it. And so thumbs up on this air filter upgrade for the Forester. If you're looking for something that you can, you know, easily replace without actually changing out the whole intake system, but get a little bit more flow and power into your car, highly recommend it. You know, I'd say it's very similar to the K&N filter. I haven't tried it for this car. I've tried other K&Ns on other cars, but this seems to have similar construction and just as much power coming from it. So really like this upgrade for, you know, Subies in general. And one thing that's different about the OEM one versus the Grimm Speed is you can clean it up. It's reusable. You can clean it and let's accelerate some more. You can clean it up and reuse it. Make sure it dries after you clean it. But loving what we have here, and just whipping a U-turn, feeling that power come into the accelerator pedal. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. Thanks all for watching my installation of the Grimm Speed air filter and how you change out your air filter in general.